Hey everybody, welcome back to the Reality Wind Down, a podcast where we break down all the latest Bravo TV drama and the biggest pop culture moments of the week, one glass of wine at a time. I'm Chase.
I'm Cassidy.
Cassie, I'm having one of those days.
Oh God, what happened?
I was kind of telling you earlier, but everyone is pissing me off.
What? Who? What? Tell me.
Just
the
in
world?
general, yeah. This is what I always say. The world has to correct itself. You can be having a good week,
Yeah.
having a good time,
Yeah.
having a good day.
Yeah.
And the world is supposed to, shit on you a little bit.
Oh my God, don't say that. No, I like to just be positive.
Oh no, I'm positive. That's the only way I'm surviving.
I'm positive that I'm going to get shit on. That's basically what you just said.
But it was just, it's one of those days where I feel like everyone just wanted to,
make your life hard.
yeah. And I powered through. I powered through with the grace of,
God.
yeah, in my soul. But it was just one of those days, and I was like, you know what's going to get me through is I'm going to have a glass of wine.
Yes.
We're going to talk Housewives. And I even texted you. I was like, I can't wait to get into our Housewives world.
I think he said, Daddy needs a drink. I can't wait to get into the Housewives world tonight. And I was like, yes, I'm very much here for
You're
this.
like, praise be.
I am ready to get into our Housewives church tonight.
And it's just like, no one's going to get me down.
No.
Housewives will always bring me up.
Yes.
So here
Unless
I
it's
am
Orange
in the
County.
church.
I'm like, don't say always. Unless it's Orange County, then.
I'm ready to bow down to the Church of Bravo.
Let's do this. Should we just jump into hot takes?
Yeah, I think we should.
I mean, we got a fiery, explosive Summer House reunion trailer that dropped.
I swear it's been like a week of trailers.
Oh, it's been trailer
The
one
past,
after the other, one after the other.
Week and a half, it's been insane the amount of trailers
Overwhelming.
we've gotten.
Well, because so many shows are ending right now, obviously, reunion, and then so many shows are starting. So I feel like also we've been very overwhelmed at everything that's coming at us.
It's a lot of information overload.
And y'all know, as Nene Leakes once said, my brain can't be doing too much. So we are going to try to remember everything as much as we can. But
Keyword try.
Try, definitely the keyword. But the Summer House, there was a few explosive moments from the trailer.
It looks good.
I'm excited.
And if you've watched Summer House from the beginning, you know that she started with a Watch What Happens Live reunion the first couple seasons. There was a Zoom reunion.
Yes.
And then they're getting a full stage production reunion. They've clawed from the bottom, and now they're at the top.
And that's the thing. People slept on Summer House. I really thought that Summer House was going to get canceled after 2 seasons.
Me
I thought
too.
it was going to be like an après-ski or like one of those. But I'm so glad it didn't, obviously, because Summer House is consistently one of our favorite. And I think a highlight from the reunion is Hannah kind of accused Carl of having a drug problem, which that's not a highlight, that's like a low light, but a high,
but like a major
part.
point in the trailer is that.
She basically says, that's why I don't go out with them in a podcast. I think she was speaking to Danny Pellegrino.
Yes, it was on his podcast.
And she basically alleged that Carl's nose was bleeding one day, and it was because he'd been snorting too much Adderall. Actually, she straight up says that.
Yeah, she doesn't say possibly. Yeah. She's like, oh,
it's because they do too much Adderall.
Like, that's how they can stay up all night. That's why I get in bed, blah, blah. So she's accusing pretty much everyone else in the house except her
also,
of doing Adderall.
Think before you speak. Carl just lost his brother to an overdose.
Yeah.
To sit there and try to accuse Carl of doing this, and then, can you imagine when, Carl's mom sees this or hears this or something? Yeah. This is horrible.
It's I mean, like you said, it's a case of think before you speak, but it's also, I just feel like when people are trying to be funny and they're desperate to get a laugh or a goofy moment.
Burner,
there you go. She's gonna say stuff like that because she thinks it's funny and the people will laugh, and it's this isn't actually funny because first off, say they were doing that.
Yeah.
I think that's something that just stays in the house.
That's
blah,
something
blah,
that you don't put on blast.
Yeah, and then you put someone on blast, and it's do you want to start doing a tit for tat? 'Cause I bet all of y'all have done bad shit in that house that wasn't on TV.
Yeah.
So I just think there's some things that just stay in your friend group. And also to add the other layer is the whole brother thing of this season to then
which is
throw
a very
that into the pile.
Layer.
So that was crazy.
Hannah also gets into it with Amanda. Well, it's not really getting into it, but Kyle makes a comment that your best friend, one of your best friends, Amanda, that you claim she has she saw that you got engaged from Instagram. That's how she found out. You didn't tell her, you didn't say anything. And I don't think that she gives a shit. No.
And also Hannah and Amanda, I feel like I've had a weird thing going on all season.
I think tonight's new episode that we're not talking about this episode this week, but the new Summer House is going to air this week. I do think that Paige is going to be asked to be a bridesmaid and Hannah isn't. So I don't know if maybe that's why I shouldn't let her know that she got engaged. Who knows? I'm looking forward to it, though. I thought it was a very good trailer.
Yeah, me too. And there's also a little bit of, like, Luke and Lindsay things are like, did they actually hook up?
Yeah.
There's a little, like, apparently, like, Paige and her shade, but it's actually gossip. And kind of just everyone is, you know, speaking up.
Danielle spoke, which was wild.
So it's like, I think everyone's coming full force into this reunion. We see, what's his name walk off.
Oh,
Kyle walks off. I think Hannah walks off.
Which, by the way, how annoying is it whenever you're, like, filming a reunion and, like, you're already there all day and someone gets up and storms off and everyone has to sit there? I would be like, this is pissing me off. This is wasting my day.
It's not as dramatic as it used to be.
No, it's not. It's been there, done that.
I think the first couple times, like, even Teresa, I think, was the originator of the walk-off, or was it Ramona?
I want to say it was... I don't know. It's a good question. We have to look into that. We're going to find out.
Yeah, because both of them walked off very early on, and it was a little bit more dramatic. You're like, wait, you're just going to get up and do that? But now that so many people have done it, I don't care anymore. If anything, like you're saying, it's annoying.
It's like, oh my God, they would just sit there and then we have to do a backstage little filming and then we're all sitting.
Yeah.
No, just don't do it.
And especially when someone walks off and like nothing even that crazy happened. Yeah. And you're like, okay, even worse.
Exactly. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
I'm excited too. I think it's going to be good. Another trailer that we got, which is Bravo related, but not on Bravo, Bethany's new show. It's very much giving me an Apprentice style copycat. So, you know, Bethany doesn't love a cheater brand, and it gave me cheater brand vibes.
I didn't watch it.
I can't believe it. I sent it to him. He wasn't feeling well, and I sent it to him. I was like, oh my God, you need to watch this. I figured you hadn't seen it.
No, I kept seeing the clips that everyone were posting on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I just took a stance, and I was like, I'm not going to watch it.
Okay, well, the show is called The Big Shot, and it's basically trying to find her a new second in command on reality TV. It looks good, though. I hate to say it. It looks very interesting. And I'm like, do I not like Bethany? Yeah, I don't like her. Do I think I'll probably tune into 1 or 2 episodes to see what it's like? Yeah, I think I will.
I mean, maybe I will, too. I just don't need to watch the trailer.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see.
You know what was a better show that was looking for a second in command?
What?
Paris Hilton's My New BFF.
Oh my God.
Now that's reality TV gold.
That actually is reality TV gold. I wish they would bring that back. I feel like Paris needs another new bestie. Let's do that. And you would go audition.
I just love TTYN, Talk to You Never.
Oh my God. Iconic.
I was actually, there was a clip I saw on Instagram the other day. I think that's why it's fresh on my brain.
I know which one you're talking about.
Is it the one where the dog tried to...
I saw that. It's like
so good.
She's going up and trying to figure out which one's going to be her new BFF, and the dog like attacks one, and she's like, no. Ew.
She's like, your guy. And also, dogs do know everything, so I believe it. I also believe that was Tinkerbell, her original.
Yeah, I think it was
you know, I think Tinkerbell
knew.
She knew. And Paris trusted Tinkerbell's intuition.
And kicked that guy out.
And that was one of the funniest clips ever.
I actually die at it,
I mean, honestly, The Simple Life and anything Paris Hilton did back in reality days were hilarious.
I mean, we used to watch like The Simple Life on DVD, like on repeat.
Yeah, the Sonic episode.
Over. The one where they worked in the cookie factory. I think about that one all the time, and I feel like you don't remember that. No one ever remembers this one.
That one I don't. I always think of the Sonic one and like when her like cat died.
Oh, I don't remember that.
No, the cat doesn't actually die. They're trying to get out of work.
Oh.
And they're like crying on the phone.
Oh, I don't remember the Sonic one really.
The Sonic one's hilarious.
Okay, I need to go back and watch it.
Yeah, we should do a deep dive on that one day.
And anyways, that's kind of how we're going to end that because we're not even talking about Bethany Frankel anymore. We went straight to Paris Hilton.
Did y'all see what I did? Change the subject.
He absolutely pivoted the subject. But I think we saw another, just like a little thing that should be mentioned. All our Below Deck fans out there. Obviously, one of the highest rated shows on Bravo plays all the time. They're actually expanding to 2 new franchises. I don't know if it's like official been like casted or started filming yet or anything, but they're looking at Australia and Iceland, which I think will be amazing.
I mean, Australia will be great just because like it's Australia, beautiful, great. But Iceland will be amazing because that takes it away from anything we've ever seen. It's always tropical, it's always warm, but throwing it up like to a colder region, or even like it would be kind of cool if they did like Alaska, because I know everyone loves doing an Alaskan cruise, and like doing like the icebergs. But
I think Iceland polar bears, so beautiful.
But that as well, like it's cool to like completely do something different.
What if they film during like the time where it doesn't get night? So it's daytime all the time.
There we go. That'll probably throw them off. They'll fight even more because they're going to be delirious.
Oh my God. That would actually be amazing.
Yeah. They're saying it's like their fastest growing like brand.
Yeah, it's like...
And it makes sense.
51 Minds like Entertainment is the production company behind it. But yeah, Below Deck. Like I said, I'm loving Selling Yacht this season. I don't think you're watching it, but you can binge it really easy.
I will, and I want to. It was just one of those things I had to decide what show I was going to give up just to like make sure I could like focus.
It's crazy.
And it was that one.
I had to decide which friend that I was going to give up, and it's this one right here. You've been voted off the island.
Whenever I can process you again, I'll call you.
I will call you back whenever. But no, seriously, Below Deck Sailing Yacht. If you guys are watching it, y'all should definitely like send us some messages and say if you're enjoying it too. Because I, for some reason,
don't attack me though. I will watch it.
Attack Chase and bully him. No, I'm just kidding. Bully him into watching Below Deck Sailing Yacht because
I cry as I'm watching it.
I hated the previous season.
Well, that was why I didn't try.
Hated it.
That's exactly why I didn't get into it.
Okay,
this season.
the Chief Stew this season is like an Irish girl. Like the crew is from all over. We have like a Brazilian crew member. We have some Americans. We have like South Africa. It is freaking good. Highly recommend. If you guys aren't watching Below Deck Sailing Yacht either, you definitely should. There's only been like 5 episodes, so it's easy to like binge and get back into.
I should have done that yesterday when I was like not feeling great. Yeah. I should have just done that.
You should.
You know what? Next time.
Save it for a rainy day.
A rainy day.
Save it for a rainy day.
But it really was. It was because of last season. It wasn't
such
strong.
A put-off.
So I was just like, okay, again, if I had to give up one, it would be that just because I didn't think last season was great.
Yeah.
So, but I'll jump into it.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Holding him to that. Y'all heard it here. Our next hot take... Brandi Glanville. I mean, not that any of us care about Brandi Glanville.
I was going to say, I think that is a hot take. No one actually cares about this.
Next. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I want to talk about it, but no one... She needs to go away.
It goes really hand in hand with this hot take. She did an interview, basically, and she said, I can't believe I wasn't asked back for this new season of Beverly Hills. I gave them their entire storyline last season, and I basically got paid nothing for it. Like, she didn't reveal how much she got paid, but she was like, I basically made nothing and gave them their entire storyline. So I was really insulted when they didn't ask me to come back. I was like, okay, A, why did you do the show if you weren't getting paid a lot, if you felt like you were, like, worth more? B, she's not wrong. I mean, the entire Denise... Like, I didn't want her back for this season. Let me put that out there.
She's not wrong.
But she gave the entire storyline with Denise last season.
But I feel like we even said this to each other, maybe on the podcast. Or we didn't do Beverly Hills.
I didn't think we did Beverly Hills.
Then we said it to each other. I was like, she thinks she's going to become a housewife again.
Yeah.
They probably prompted her or led her to believe...
Oh, I'm sure production was shady as hell with
that she was going to come back. Because why would you do that to your supposed friend... so willingly.
She's not my friend. I don't know her.
Yeah, so she definitely thought she was getting something out of it. I knew the entire time she was never going to get anything out. I think everyone knew that.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah, and no one wants her back. She's not friends with any of them. And the fact that they made Kim and her like come into Kyle's house, and the fact that Kyle let her into her house and all this stuff after Kyle hated her so much. That's what Beverly Hills makes me so angry because of shit like that.
Well, Kyle also never gets her hands dirty and but still has
I think she did last season.
Things. I do feel like
Brandi came into her house and told her that story.
Right, but she still did it in a way where it was like, I had no idea that she was even with her, blah, blah, blah. So she still really technically stayed clean, even though we know, and especially if you're a longtime viewer of Beverly Hills and you're very involved in all the ins and outs like we like to follow, you know that it was definitely a setup. So yeah, I just found that interesting. Thought it was worth mentioning. But our last hot take gonna be a fun one on a much lighter note that does not involve Brandi Glanville. Jersey reunion looks. They came out? What did you think?
Teresa was my favorite, I think.
Okay. I just feel like I've seen Tree in this look 100 times.
Okay.
She looks beautiful.
I honestly think they all looked great. See, I mean, Marge was a little bit weird because,
that's Marge. She's very 70s. It's a very much flowy. I didn't mind it.
I didn't. No, I honestly don't think there was one that I didn't like. Yeah. I'm gonna this truthfully.
People were very divided on Jackie's. We have to say it was like the one shoulder.
But is it because they're divided on Jackie, or is it because they're divided on her outfit?
That's what I hate when I do polls, and then sometimes you can kind of because someone can look absolutely amazing and beautiful. I'm not saying that Jackie's look was the best by any means, but someone can look incredible, and people still vote down
based on if they like them or not.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, no, just vote if you like the look or not. Because it was very much like a little Grecian inspired. And I was like, you know me, I'm no Jackie stan, and I liked it.
I didn't hate it either. I thought, like I said, I thought they all looked good.
Yeah.
I think now that you said it's like Marge's style, I'm starting to like maybe like turn a little bit. But I would say that was my least favorite. Then probably Jackie's second.
I would go Melissa for me.
See, Melissa's is one that I actually kind of thought I've seen a lot. Just in different colors. Like, not in white. It's like, but I feel like a lot of people have worn, like, the black version of that. Even I feel like there was, like...
I liked Jennifer.
I'm, like, thinking of a purple version, maybe
I know I've seen it before.
Yeah,
like,
so I've seen that same look.
Maybe Potomac or something. I feel like I've seen it. Or, I don't know, but I agree with you. I definitely feel like I've seen it before. But Jennifer's, I felt like, was very, like, business chic, but it looks good. Yeah. I liked it. I thought it was very pretty. Mm-hmm.
I can't even think of Dolores's right now, to be honest.
Oh, Dolores's was like a kind of like golden, a little bit of like a puff shoulder just right here, and like a V-neck. And it's very pretty. It was like, gave me like Grecian goddess. Like, it was a very, very pretty look.
I loved it was all like white, and kind of sheer and like sparkly. It just like, I don't know. I thought they all brought it. Like, there wasn't, because usually in a cast, like, oh shit, that's horrible, and this one person's great. Yeah. But like, I honestly think, kind of as you're saying now, everyone brought their own personality and style to it, but also just looked great. Like, I agree. I thought they all brought it. As people say, they knew the assignment.
Yes,
is that the new thing?
That's the new trend. She understood the assignment.
Yeah, and I think they
all understood the assignment.
Exactly. So I have to give them a solid stamp of approval on all of them.
I agree.
And I'm excited for that reunion too.
I am also. Well.
There was one more. Hot take. Remember I was telling you about the Erika thing?
Yes.
So just to step our little big toe back into the Erika drama.
Not our big toe.
You know you love toes.
Ooh. Not the big toe. Of anything you could have said, the big toe.
You know what? Just comparing it to our favorite girl.
Oh my god.
Anyways, Erika, they're saying now that there's about to be a lawsuit now. They're expecting a lawsuit to drop on her when it comes after her assets, not just Tom's assets, because they're kind of claiming like, oh, well, like a lot of your like jewelry and cars and clothes is like coming from Girardi's money that's clearly kind of been scam money. And it's true because they were saying like in the past or over their marriage, she's probably gotten over $20 million worth of jewelry and clothes. Mm-hmm. And they're like, at this point, to pay off his debt and his settlements and like towards the victim of his scams, like she should be giving back her stuff. And apparently, allegedly, she's like, no, this is my stuff. I shouldn't get like penalized for his wrongdoings. I'm like, girl, he was your husband for 20 plus years. I'm sorry. You get penalized for your husband's actions when you're married.
Is that how you say? I say penalized. You say penalized? No, I
don't know. I'm not trying to defend it.
Do you normally say penalized?
I think so.
I've always said penalized. Now it all sounds weird. Like, you know when you never say a word and then a word, like, you hear it, like, several times?
I'm just not saying anything because I have no idea.
No, it's like, I think, no, either way works. It's just funny to me. I always thought penalized was, like, the British way of saying it. And
maybe I'm a Brit.
Oh my god, sorry. That was actually, I was very interested in because I haven't really...
that's not a British accent.
Now he's Canadian, guys. He's switching it up on us. That was actually very interesting because I hadn't read all of that. But, I mean, Erika could end up, like, poor. Like, no house, no anything. And because she has that beautiful dog. You know what I'm talking about?
You're just worried about her dog that wore the wig that one time?
I'm worried about her Doberman.
Was that last season? That was, like, the best part of the season where, like, they flashed to the dog and it had a wig on?
Yes, that was the best. When she was getting ready for Chicago.
Yeah, I was like, okay, the only thing that I liked about Erika
was her sweet little dog. You know, I worry about these things.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, she's probably, as long as she keeps it interesting on Beverly Hills, she's still going to make about $1 million a season. I think
this will keep her on another season. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, I do too. Very interesting. We'll see what comes of that.
I mean, that's going to be an onion that keeps on...
I just don't know how
what do they say about onions? They have layers.
Yeah, they keep...
It's just a layer.
Unraveling.
Layered.
Keeps peeling. We'll be very...
Can't now we're, like,
going hard on onions. Like, what is happening to us today, guys? I'm so sorry.
We did say before this that we were a little delirious today, so you may
bear with us. Bear with us. But I do think it's time. We don't have a competitive game this week, but we thought it'd be fun to do a little game of Bravo TV Resurrection. we'd both decided to pick 2 shows that if we could bring back from the Bravo dead, what would they be?
Can I start?
You start with your first one.
Après ski.
Oh my god, and I referenced that earlier.
I knew, that's why I did you see me smile at you?
Yes.
It was après ski because I don't think maybe the cast wasn't great. I'm not technically vouching for like the show and its quality at that point, but I love a winter themed show. And I love skiing. I love the mountains. I like the idea. And it's essentially Summer House in the winter, which we know we're getting now Winter House.
And they're working like all together too.
Yeah, I like that.
So, did you watch Timber Creek Lodge too?
Yes.
Okay, so they were basically, was Après Ski first or Timber Creek Lodge first?
I don't remember. They were about the same time.
But, one came out and then it never came back. I want to say Après Ski was first and then it never came back and I was so sad. And then Timber Creek Lodge came on. I was like,
maybe that's
yes! So they're like reviving Après Ski. But then that didn't last either. And I know. Same. Me and my fiance loved, that was his favorite too. So, he was very in on both.
So, did it already win you over?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, great.
That's the easy, guys, y'all know me. I will watch pretty much anything Bravo puts out. So I'm like, I am in for whatever you say.
Because I really liked, and I think
like you said, the winter element.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh.
And what they were doing, which I kind of like when TV shows do this, is like we get Summer House in the winter, and we had Winter House in the summer. It's like kind of giving you like a little glimpse into like the opposite season.
Yeah. I love an out of season Christmas episode.
Me too. I love that.
When it's like June,
just gives you like a little
Christmas.
jolt.
Yes.
You're like, oh my god, yeah.
When it's like June and a Christmas episode comes on, it's like so satisfying. But yes, I am with you 100%. I'm gonna go next. Okay. Ladies of London.
Okay, you don't even have to sell me on this.
Yes,
there is no selling. I want you to sell me, but you don't need to because I'm already buying it.
I'm like, the fact, first off, that it's international. You get to see a bit of London.
We love London.
Oh my god, it's just like something about the juxtaposition of having Americans and Brits, and then there was a Swedish woman on there as well. Like it just, and like when she did Midsummer, like for like the event like in London, just seeing the city and seeing like, you know, like the Americans that are married to the Brits and then the Brits that are, it just was so interesting.
I also love an American that thinks they're British.
Oh, and like they start Juliet. That 100 like.
No, I was actually thinking of Juliet as well. But what was the blonde that like had the hot dog company? She really thought she was a Brit.
Her and her husband live in LA again now.
Yes.
Oh god, what is her name? I'm like,
I can't remember her name, but she really thought she was a Londoner. Yeah. And she always talked about it, and she would like say certain words, and I'm like,
okay, Dorit.
Love it. Exactly. And I love it because like, I love my friends in London, but when they visit, they'll say like British words. I'm like,
see, okay, and I feel like I'm kind of being put on blast right now too because I'm with someone who's British. I would never ever do like the attempt to talk or have like the mannerisms. The only reason I ever say anything, like if I say kitchen roll instead of paper towel, it's because if I ask Jules to go get me a paper towel, he'll go to the kitchen and stand there for 10 minutes. Like, what's that? So I'll be like, can you go get me a kitchen roll? So that's why. It's very different. I would never, like, if I'm with you, I'd be like, Chase, we got a paper towel. I'd be like, Chase, can you get me a kitchen roll? Like, I wouldn't be like that. You know what I mean? But, like, with him. Or it'll be, like, underwear and pants. Like, that's the same thing. I would be like, here, I'm going to wash your pants instead of underwear.
But would you ever say, let's go to the loo?
No.
Okay.
British people don't even say that half the time. Like, literally, Jules says restroom. Like, he doesn't say loo.
And I feel like the Americans on Ladies of London would say that.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, I have time to go to the loo. And I'd be like, why are you're from Chicago, sweetie?
But I loved it.
Yes, Ladies of London. But the thing is, like, people, it gets very complicated because Caroline Stanbury's in Dubai now. I saw she just got divorced and she's with, like, a young guy.
Yes.
So.
Still in Dubai, though.
Yeah. And then the blonde girl, for some reason we can't think of her name. She's in LA. Annabelle unfortunately passed away.
That was sad.
And I don't know much about the others, what's going on.
Caroline, I think, moved back to, like, her, I don't know if it was Sweden or was it Denmark. I can't remember.
Oh, it might have been Denmark.
I think it might, because she was like, because wasn't she like a princess or something of Denmark?
Her family was,
something crazy like that. I think she moved back to Denmark. So they're all
Do you
spread
remember
out.
One chaotic lady who was from like the Midwest
Caprice?
somewhere? No. You know, Caprice is like, she was
an icon.
Literally, like, if I say it, Jules was like, what do you mean Caprice was on there? That is like the woman that every little boy in England during that time grew up being like, oh my god, she's the hottest thing ever. And we're like, who's Caprice?
Exactly. I was like, who the hell is that? Caprice on?
Yes.
But I even think of that like with Caroline Stanbury, where it was like, she wasn't like a sex symbol, but she was like a huge socialite that
Right.
everyone knew.
Right.
Like, they got legit
Like,
people on the
family.
show.
Yeah.
Like, even the fact that Annabelle was, like, Alexander McQueen's muse, that's insane.
When she passed, people like Orlando Bloom, like major celebrities were
like these people were legit people.
Yeah, legit
and we
high
threw Juliet
society. And then Juliet and the blonde that we can never remember her name.
And I loved them for it, but it was just funny because like that was kind of the dynamic. Was
Yeah.
like Caprice was an American originally, but was so ingrained in British society that she was welcomed with open arms.
Basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she was on the Brit side, and then we had the American side, which I just loved kind of that dynamic.
Oh.
And I thought they were just legit like celebrities. They legit had money.
Yeah.
It was just entertaining. And like you said, it's nice to see another country and what they're doing there.
Also, like you say, rich, like the money to live in actual London, like the houses they're in are like beautiful homes and like not even realizing they're $10 million or £10 million.
I mean, if we look at Caroline Stanbury's Instagram, she is worth so much money.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she
what
does
her ex
everything.
do? I know
think
she
he
comes
was like
from money in her own right.
Like an investment person. You know, rich people
What
jobs.
do rich people do?
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
investors.
I mean, she had her own trust fund, so she's fine. But then
Yeah.
she marries a man that also probably had a trust fund and also was like a financial man. So, you know.
And another like layer with it. Sorry, and we'll move on. But
I know we like keep talking about ladies.
Her sister-in-law was on there too. Like her ex.
Oh yes, beautiful Sophie.
Her ex sister-in-law. So like there was the real family dynamics that we love in Jersey. So there's like, yeah, bring back Ladies of London. Even if we need to switch up the cast a little bit, that's fine. I still want it back. I still want to try.
I think I may be making this up, so don't take this as fact. But I'm pretty sure Sophie Stanbury. And I there was a housewife. I'm trying to remember who it was. Went to a gay bar in New York and caused like a huge scene because they were being drunk and like they were in the middle of a drag show. They like went on stage. And, like, the drag queen had to, like, yell at them and, like, tell them to, like, this isn't their space.
We gotta find that.
I know.
We'll link it.
I have to look it up. But it definitely happened maybe, like, 4 years ago.
Oh, shoot.
So, and I can't remember the other housewife. But it was her and another housewife.
Oh, we've got to find out who it was.
We have to find out.
It's got to be, like, a New York queen or, like, a Jersey queen, maybe.
Maybe. I feel like it was someone kind of random that you wouldn't expect. Actually, you would expect them to do this, but I can't think of them. Probably like Brandi Glanville,
I was about to say Brandi Glanville, let's be honest.
But yes, let's look that up because it just came to me and
we're for sure going to look that up and we will...
And if it's not fact, we'll circle back and say it's not.
And if it's not, then if you guys never hear about this again, then it didn't happen. Like, we're just going to pretend, okay?
We don't update on things that turn out to be false.
No. We forget half the time to update on things normally, but we definitely aren't going to update when we're wrong. Like, that's for sure.
Okay, my second show.
Yes.
Tabitha Salon Takeover.
Okay, very random.
Tabitha was amazing.
She
was a badass, power lesbian, one of the original Bravo, like, stars. And she came in there, she told them what to do, and she never backed down. Always was confident. Always had her same blonde, like,
I always thought she looked just like a Siamese cat in, like, the chicest way.
And you know I love cats, so maybe that's why I'm into it.
Chic Siamese cat.
Yeah, and it was always just, like, in LA, kind of, like, bright, airy.
Yeah. I was so not expecting that.
Really? I knew that was going to be a random one. Because
that's, like, not totally sold on me.
And that's fair because you never watched it.
Okay, maybe that's it.
I think, so it's pretty much flipping out, but for salons.
Okay.
Or, like, do you ever watch Bar Rescue?
Yeah, I was going to say Bar Rescue.
It's Bar Rescue for hair salons.
And, like, I feel like it could gross me out real easily when I saw, like, clumps of hair, like, if it wasn't properly cleaned.
It wasn't like that.
Okay.
It was never about, like...
I want to say I've caught, like, some of episodes, and it would be, like, someone came in and asked for, like, a blunt cut, and, like, blah, 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 and, like, the person wouldn't know how to do it properly.
It was more that. It was more, like, first of all, like, the business side. Like, you need to be able to run your business. You need to, like, be able to hire people right. All of that. But also, it was that, where it's, like, someone wanted a specific haircut, and they couldn't do it right. And she's like, how are you a hairstylist and don't know this haircut? And it would be very simple stuff. Like, cut and color, blowouts, blah, blah.
Okay, I'm a little more sold. I could be into this.
And then it's just fun. And also, she's just, like she's assertive.
Like, witty and, like, choppy.
But
like,
also very, like, caring.
Yeah.
And she would, like, cry with them, and she always just was looking out for them.
Oh, she would cry with them?
Maybe. I don't remember.
You're like, she's never
It's
cried
been
once.
a while. I think this is a nostalgia thing, because it was, like, one of the original shows I watched on Bravo.
Yeah.
And she's one of the original Bravo celebrities. And it just was something about it that I always liked.
Oh, okay. Well, I could be down for that. I wouldn't be opposed. I'm really struggling. I kind of think we should both do 3 if you can think of another one. Because I'm really between 2. So, okay. Let's do 3 each, all right?
If I can think of one, I will. But if I can't think of one, just do your third.
Okay, I am going to do Southern Charm Nola.
Oh my God. Is that the one that you thought we were both going to say?
Yes.
Because I agree with you on that.
No, actually, Ladies of London, I thought you were going to say. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were going to say
fair.
that.
Weirdly, I didn't think of Ladies of London, which is odd because as we just talked about it for like 10 minutes,
I know.
I'm obsessed with it. But Nola would be my second one because me and you both love New Orleans.
And the show itself, the cast was so good. Like, Tamika and Barry were like mom and dad. Beautiful, iconic. Loved their relationship. Loved seeing them with their kids. And then Jeff and Reagan, her name's Reagan, right? Yeah, Reagan.
Chaotic as fuck.
And Jeff actually was in an accident recently.
Oh, really?
And he was in like a wheelchair for a while. Like, because I think he definitely was on like a spiral downwards. And
for both seasons.
I think he was on like a motorcycle and he had an accident or something. I think he's recovered now and better, but like he met someone and like he looks like he's in a really good relationship with her, and then like we could see Reagan with her man Reese that she's back with.
That was also such a wild relationship, Reagan and Reese, where they just like got together and
have a baby.
Yeah, and he was like odd.
He was the guy from high school that still acts exactly like you knew him in high school.
That just gives me irks me so much.
Like a reaction that I'm like, it's like visceral. I'm like, it's a no for me.
No. No for me, dog.
And then the artist, why can't I think? John was his name, the artist. And then the other guy who was like a lawyer, and his girlfriend kept wanting to get engaged and get married. There was just so many storylines that I want to like catch back up.
I can't believe that didn't take off.
I know.
Because we had, Southern Charm, Savannah.
Which I liked.
I actually liked too. But Nola was way better.
Nola was amazing. And like, I just remember they did like the voodoo party and the way they were all dressed. And, like going.
I love a voodoo party.
Oh, everything about Southern Charm Nola, I want to come back. I hardcore would petition that.
Okay. You don't have to win me over on that one either. Stamp of approval.
Can you think of a third one?
I can't. You put me on the spot and I got nervous. And I can't think on the spot.
Okay.
But what's your third?
I'm just going to say People's Couch.
Okay.
Like, literally our dream jobs. I think everyone's dream job.
Everyone that, like, loves Bravo would love to just do that.
Dream. But I would love to have it. There is, speaking of, like, Ladies of London earlier, there's a show in the UK called Gogglebox where basically they sit down and watch loads of different shows. Still love it when I can stream it. If we could bring back the People's Couch. And honestly, the cast on it was great.
Yeah, I like them all.
Destiny moved on to Shaw's of Sunset now.
I mean, that's a step up.
Talk about a glow up on that.
I know, obsessed with that.
But yes, People's Couch had to get an honorable mention because it was so
good. It was just a show that we all watched and we're like, I want to do that.
And I feel like they tried to bring it back recently with like Below Deck.
I was say they're doing the Below Deck after. I don't know what they're calling it.
I don't even
Below
know if
Deck Chat.
Still doing it though. They were doing it for like a few episodes, but I haven't seen it in
a while. Do they do it for Selling Yacht? Because they did it all for the Below Deck.
Probably, no, they didn't.
Because it was all Below Deck Yachty alumni. So they did it like...
He said alumni. I said, okay.
Sign me up.
Like I can scrub a deck. Sign me up. Yeah, but it had like Bobby, Colin, OG, is the brothers that Kelly and I can never think of their names.
I can't do names.
I know, I'm surprised that I just jumped in. I can't do names. So the fact that I just jumped in with 3 names. The fact
that we have a podcast where we have to remember people's names and like actions, and we are like, I don't know names, I don't know places, I don't know things.
I actually thought you would love this quick story. We went to trivia yesterday. Like, there's like a place on my street that like does trivia. Sitting out there, we were nailing it. Second place the entire time. Comes to like the final round, and it's like a tech round, of course. We got our asses kicked and ended up in 5th place. But I was sitting there, I was like, wow, if you guys would do something that's important, like Housewives trivia, I'd be nailing this. So Joel's like pulled up like Housewives. He's like, let's see how good you would do. Here's some taglines. Started reading them. I was finishing the tagline and nailing it. I was like, this is why we need to start hosting a Bravo trivia. I don't know how.
Oh my God,
we should do something, right? Would you guys be like down for that? Let us know.
I'm down.
Like taglines, like general knowledge. Like, I think it'd be so much fun.
Even a Housewives bingo.
Yes. Okay. Like, let us know, guys. We talked about doing it in the past. Things sometimes get away from us. Life happens. But if you guys would be interested, seriously, like, message us. Like, because I think it'd be such a fun thing to do, like, interactive.
Yeah, and I don't want to play those games on the podcast anymore because I know I'm going to lose. So I want y'all to lose.
I need some... Guys, I'm calling you out. I need some real competition. Just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
But she ain't wrong.
That would be super fun. So yeah, let us know if you guys would be interested. On that note, we should definitely jump in to our shows this week.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little Dallas and a little New Jersey. So I think we should kick things off with some Dallas.
Let's do it.
Pew, pew, pew. That's my attempt at doing the Dallas opening theme song from when they... Is that not how it sounded? It was like, pew, pew, no? Am I not right at all?
Ma'am, what? Whenever
they opened, they replaced the theme song for Dallas with, like, the actual Dallas TV show theme song.
I wasn't born in the 80s, baby. I don't know.
Oh, baby, I was born after you, so you know I wasn't either. That's what it sounded like to me when they were doing a cute little opening. They didn't have, like, the normal Dallas opening this week when we got, like, their taglines.
I did think it was a cute opening.
Like, a little Dallas, but you just don't like when I do the song?
No, I just also don't remember the music.
Literally, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, you should come watch Chase's reaction to my attempt at the pow, 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 pow. Because he literally looked at me like I just, like, took a shit in his Cheerios.
I truly don't know how to, like, hide my thoughts in my face.
He literally went...
Because, like, I would have never said that, but because my face gave it away. There's a fly!
Oh, no, not the return of the flies. Maybe he liked my jam.
Yeah, he was like, girl, I love that singing.
To support and replace you. Anyways, sorry, I guess I sounded nothing like it. Whatever.
I honestly don't know. I just was like, what's happening?
But everyone knows, even if, I mean, we never watched the show, obviously, before our time, and we don't go back and watch old shows very often. Dallas is an iconic TV show. Very, very big. It was a Dallas and Dynasty were out at the same time. And
do you know where Dallas took place?
In Southfork Ranch.
Just in case you just didn't know.
36 minutes or miles, one of the two.
36 minutes.
But Brandi is touring the Dallas house where they actually filmed the TV show. And she obviously keeps alluding to and referencing 1,000 times. You know, I stayed here when I was a Cowboys cheerleader. I stayed here when I was a Cowboys cheerleader.
Not even alluding to, aggressively,
yeah, she was, like,
making it known.
I was trying to be nice. I don't know why. She was hardcore saying, oh, I slept on that couch. I was here. I literally moved to Dallas to come here and then stay in this house and then become a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
I didn't realize that Dallas cheerleaders were world renowned. I know they are, but it was just how she was saying it.
You know, like, they literally show that Dallas Cowboys making a cheerleader show. Like, have you ever seen it? Mm-hmm. In like all the European countries. It's
really?
It's like a big show in Europe, which is wild.
It is wild, and I'm not shocked by that by any means. But it was just funny how she was saying it because it was all just like cheerleader, Dallas cheerleader, Cowboys. I'm like, here. I'm Dallas. I truly am Dallas. You know that whole time.
Like 100%. But anyway, she's taking a tour because they're going to do a little girls' weekend there and have a party. So that's foreshadowing of what's to come later in the episode. But we head back to Dallas, and Deandra is with Shumandarin. That's what we're calling him now. Shumandarin. He is doing the most shaman things I've ever seen in my entire life. He has, like, a whole stone collection and seeds, and they're going outside and they're going to plant stuff, and he puts on a Peruvian hat to thank his shaman ancestors. And I was like, wow, I want to go to Shumandarin. Like, I really feel like he is doing something there.
He definitely went to Stella Adler and did better than I did at the acting thing.
He went to Stella Adler Acting Academy, and then he left and went to, like, the Chi hair studio next door to learn how to put in extensions.
And finally his shamanism brought it all together.
And that's, you know what? We've discussed this before. I am all about getting any money when you can. However, and if he is hustling these people, being a shaman and doing extensions.
He snorted something up Deandra's nose again.
I know.
Is that how they start the session? Is just something shot up her nose? And she, like, did this, like...
She's like, I missed it.
Let's play with our rocks now.
I mean, I actually, like, and I think about this because we get into it more with her stepmom later. I wonder if her stepmom watches the show and is like, so this is where all that money I was owed is going
1,000%. 1,000%.
Like, they absolutely have to think that Deandra is a bit of a wacko. But if it works for her, I'm all about it. I mean, it seems to be working.
Yes.
But then we get Tiffany on a total, we're going to do a 180. Tiffany is very happy, and she just seems in a lighter, more positive place.
Yeah.
She's doing a spa day with her girls. They're getting their nails done at her house, and she even says, like, I am so happy that I'm in a good place with my mom. Obviously in a great place with her husband. She never wasn't.
Yeah.
Great place with work. Although I do have that like lingering feeling in the back of my mind that something's going to go wrong because it's just how I am. But I'm just in such a positive place. Like, it's definitely good to see her resolve a lot of the things that she was worried about at the beginning of the season.
Do you feel like if Dallas comes back
Yes.
next season and she is in the cast, do you think she'll be just a full-time housewife? Or do you think she'll still continue to work?
Oh, I thought you meant would she be a full-time cast member?
No. I meant like
I
step away from like being an anesthesiologist altogether.
I think, which I actually, I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know either. Like, that's just something I think about because I'm like, oh, it opens her eyes to something different. And also she probably can make the same amount of money being on the Bravo show than like being like an anesthesiologist because it pays a lot of money. And I just wonder if that's more enticing.
You know what? I would think that she wouldn't, but the more I think about it, Housewives only film X amount of the year. And I think she's someone who really thrives on being very busy. Like, she has a candle business too. So maybe I don't know. That's a weird
I don't know. That's a weird one, right? I just keep thinking about it though.
Too, and I think they all know in the back of their minds, like let's be honest, she's not going to be on the Housewives for the next 30 years. Like, she's not going to be on until her 60s like Ramona is. But so, like, I think she probably wants to keep her career going. But I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe I could see her stepping back another day a week.
That's what I mean.
So,
because,
3 days.
Since her whole storyline this season was, like, stepping back from work, in this episode, she was like, I'm so happy I get to spend this day with my girls now. And I'm like, well, whenever you may get that contract re-up for the next season, will you maybe just, like, be like, oh, well, I get to do this and be with my girls?
I could definitely see her cutting back to 3 days a week.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was thinking too.
I think she should. But then we get another moment of mother-daughters. Kary and her daughters go to a Mexican cooking lesson, which, by the way, yes, please sign me up. I want to go do that so
I know,
bad.
I'm actually like really craving like Mexican food right now, to be honest.
Whenever they busted out that mortar and pestle of guacamole, that was like the size of my head, and y'all know I got a big head. I was like, please, on my way, see y'all in Dallas.
It looked really good.
So good.
And also their cooking lesson consisted of like, let's season the meat. Let's make guacamole and then we'll serve you the rest.
And then they brought out the most beautiful carne asada, and I was like, yes, please sign me up. But there were a few interesting things. We saw Kary's youngest daughter, which we don't see very often. Her oldest daughter is back home from college, was there. We don't see her as much. We mainly see
the girl that has the blue hair.
Yeah, we Olivia, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, we mainly see Olivia, but Sophia was back, and the youngest daughter, I can't remember her name. And they were discussing kind of, you know, how she's had a breakthrough with her mom because her mom was a binge drinker when she grew up, and she had a very tumultuous relationship, but she's recently getting closer to her own mother.
Yeah.
And they even FaceTime her at the table, and they're like, hey, like, let's all chat, have, like, a cute little moment. And she's like, I want my girls to get to know this version of their grandmother, like, I'm getting to know again.
And I feel like even, like, Sophia was opening up a lot, because at the beginning of the season, I remember Kary trying to have a conversation with her, like, when they were making jewelry, and she's like, no, we're not talking about this, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. And Sophia was even like, you know what, you broke the chain, you broke the cycle, I appreciate it. So it was like a cute little daughter-mom moment. It was cute.
Yeah, 100%. It was really nice to see. Speaking of mother-daughter again, we're going to roll into, guys, Mama D. Y'all know she's always coming in hot.
Oh, this was wild.
Was spitting flames through FaceTime while getting ready to go to church. It was like classic Mama D.
It is Mama D in a nutshell right there.
She is basically Deandra's getting ready to. It's a Sunday morning. She's getting ready to go meet her stepmom and have this chat that's really been building up all season, which I was really hoping was going to be on camera, but it wasn't, because obviously the stepmom didn't want to be filmed. I should have realized that. But Mama D is just speaking to her like, you know, since day one, like, that woman has been an angry person. She has always been miserable and jealous. And I even spoke to your father once, and I said, oh, well, you clearly didn't marry her because she's beautiful. And he was like, no, I did that the first time. Obviously referencing Mama D was,
and she's like,
the beautiful one first time. And then she's like, well, you can at least get her a nose job. Have you ever heard of, like, the Beverly Hillbillies? That's what she is. I was like, ugh.
And this just goes back to me saying, The fight was never with Deandra. It was
No.
always with Mama D. The stepmom, Mama D, always hated each other.
Yep.
For some reason. Because I don't understand why Mama D even gives a shit about this new lady. Because Mama D left to go find her man with money.
Exactly.
So why does she care what her
With
ex-husband
more
does?
money. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Mama D just wild.
Mama D is wild.
And you can tell that she loves to control a situation. And she didn't want her ex to even find another woman. But she didn't want to be with her ex.
Exactly. Boom. Drop the mic. Nailed it. And like we said, she was really spitting flames on this. She was
like
you
kind
don't
of
owe
uncalled
woman,
for.
Yeah, she's like, you don't owe that woman anything. Like, you really don't. If she's rude to you at all, like, you tell her where to go, blah, 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 blah. Going crazy. And Jeremy's in the room, like, next to Deandra while she's on this call. And they get off the phone, and Jeremy's like, I love your mom. I agree with some of the things she said, but I disagree with a lot of what she just said. What is your goal in going there? Your goal is to go to have a relationship and to move past things.
Yeah.
If you go in with the mentality where your mom's kind of, and I think Deandra even says it in her interview, like I feel like she's gaslighting me and getting me hyped up.
Yeah.
To, like,
for sure. To go attack.
Yes. And Jeremy is very much like, at this moment, I realized, and I already knew they had a great relationship, but I was just saying to you, I was like, they literally, like, Jeremy is such a good guy. And, like, he is, like, the perfect sounding board and voice of reason in a very chaotic relationship.
Yeah, but also it's mainly chaotic because of Mama D, to be honest.
That's exactly what I mean, yeah.
And we even see that a little bit more because when they do go talk to the stepmother,
yes,
Jeremy waits in the car for 2.5 hours just sitting there waiting for her. And do you
like,
notice that he goes and opens her door every time?
Yes.
Even whenever he picked her up after she talked to the stepmom, yes, he did it, and he was like, "I'm sorry, I just didn't want to get out because they were in traffic."
Yes.
And she's like, "No, it's okay."
So
that means every single time he gets out of the car,
and she just sits there, and also the door was locked. I'm pretty sure she had to like fix it and kind of open it for him to be able to open it from the outside. I was like, what a gentleman.
Chivalry is not dead.
Chivalry is not dead. But I found that crazy that he sat in the car for 2.5 hours. I was like, he could have at least gone to like
Starbucks or something.
Starbucks, yeah, or like he could have gone and had one beer like while waiting, or like some food. But yeah, very, very sweet. But like you say, when Deandra gets in and he doesn't get her door, because how dare you not get her door, Jeremy?
Yeah.
She's like, we didn't really talk about the past a whole lot, which I think is a good thing.
But the stepmom did say her brother doesn't want to meet her.
But the brother did say he has no interest in a relationship with her, which I like am not being funny, but like if you're all grown people, why doesn't he just respond with, "Hey, I'm really not that interested. Thank you for reaching out." Why is it like going through mommy? Like he's probably in his 30s, I would think, right? He's got to be at least a grown man. I don't know why this is all going through the stepmom, and because she does sound a little crazy, just like Mama D's a little crazy. Like I think that there's a lot of craziness happening there.
I mean, me trying to connect with family members.
You do. We're gonna save that for the therapy podcast that we're working on. Full disclaimer, Chase has an amazing family.
There's just one special person in our family that is an outlier, and I'm the only sucker that tries to reach out. And have I cried at a dinner table before? Yes.
I didn't even relate these two together, but you're right. Sorry, guys. That's a bit of an inside one. Maybe Chase will open up one day.
One day we'll talk about it, and one day I'm going to send this podcast to her and be like, bitch.
It's about you, bitch.
Again, therapy podcast. We'll
podcast.
do that.
But then we get to the day of the Southfork Ranch trip, and everyone's getting ready to leave. Cute. They get in the limo. They take their 36-minute journey. We do find out at this point that all the guys are going to be coming on the last day for a dinner, which, like... Fun.
I don't know how they're going to be able to stay the night.
Well, hopefully they're just, like, getting an Uber back home.
I hope so, too.
Because,
that's true.
Guys,
36 minutes isn't bad.
You are leading right into our next point. They get there. Like, I'm not going to lie. Very happy that Cam got her own room. But walking in there, I would have been like, I cannot stay in here. This is freaking insane. It's like it seems like a dollhouse.
That's
it's like
perfect
creepy.
for Cameron, though.
It is very perfect for Cameron. But then they go into a large bed, I guess, and there's 3 gift baskets sitting on it. There's one for Brandi, of course, one for Stephanie, of course they're gonna stay together, and one for Tiffany. If I was Tiffany, I would be like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna head out. Like, I'm gonna go, like...
Do you bitches know I own 2 hotels?
Like, I
will go stay in one of my hotels and come back.
And I will get an Uber copter back on the next day. Like, I will take my 45-minute Uber copter back.
45 minutes? You mean 5-minute Uber copter?
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, very true. But I feel like by the time you, like, get on and, like, you deal with it, and then you get there, it's, like, a 45-minute process.
You know what? I will take 45 minutes and not to sleep in the middle of 2 people.
In the middle of 2... Also, best friends who have, like, a way of doing things. I would just feel
that's
like
true.
Such, like,
because they're, like, essentially sisters at this point. Like,
yes.
they're... that
Stephanie
close.
and Brandi are that close, 100%.
So you're telling me, I actually kind of forgot this. Cameron was sleeping by herself?
Cameron was sleeping by herself. And then Jennifer...
Why wouldn't Tiffany sleep with her?
Where's Jennifer sleeping? We didn't even see the rooms.
Jennifer's sleeping like outside in the lawn.
I mean,
they gave up on her.
Where's Kary sleeping? Where's Deandra? Are they sharing? Oh, Kary and Deandra
were sleeping together.
I guess Jennifer got her own separate room, and she just gets no airtime, and it's wild that she's even there.
I agree. They I understand a friend-of role, and you don't get a lot of airtime, but friendos usually get way more than she does.
It's like
she's at every event.
Like, I've never been more confident that someone wasn't being asked back for a next season than I am with her.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a chance in hell.
I mean, I just don't know what was even going on.
She says nothing. I'm sure she says things. She just doesn't get
I always see. This is what I always just wish we had the alternate cut, because like there is somewhere where she's a big part of this.
There's a cut lost in the universe where Jennifer does get time to
parallel
speak.
Universes.
Parallel universe, but we'll never see it.
That's on our Parallel Universe podcast.
It got swept off. I'm like, if we could get our hands on that tape, y'all already know we would break it down, but it is not happening. But then they're doing like an 80s party that night, and they're all getting dressed, doing their thing. They go outside, dancing on the furniture. I feel like Brandi tried to get really pissed off for a minute. Like, you guys are all jumping on it with your heels. Like, why would you dance on someone's furniture?
That was rude.
Totally rude. But, like, Brandi doesn't get on top of everything and dance. She's like, you just have to take your shoes off first. I've seen her with her shoes on dancing on top of tables before.
I can't recall, but I do understand, like, if you're going to at least defile the furniture, at least take your shoes off.
I would completely agree. And then they did say, this part cracked me up. It absolutely killed me. They were like, everyone show us your best 80s move. Deandra, you go first. Deandra's like, okay. She gets on her knees, like, pretends to snort cocaine with a straw. I was
hilarious.
Dying. I was like, the fact that
I think that was the best part of the show.
100%. The fact that she could poke fun, between that, the best part, that and the mortar pestle making guacamole, those are my two highlights. But then, God, guys, it's become a real thing on Housewives shows. We're doing a murder mystery party. Oh. The only murder
Muzzy Mustard.
Oh, is that what their names were?
I think Stephanie was Muzzy Mustard.
You would remember that.
I do love mustard.
I don't remember any of their names. But I do know that the only murder mystery party that I've ever stanned was whenever they did it in New York and the Berkshires. And then Dorinda got so drunk halfway through, she said, okay, I'm the murderer. I did it. Haha, can we get dinner now? I was like, that is you to a T. And that's why we give your middle name of Dorinda and Portia.
Because once you're over it, you're over it.
And literally, like, no one was paying attention. That I think about the Berkshires one every time they do a murder mystery. I'm like, that was the only one that I ever stood
because I honestly think that's the most authentic reaction to a murder mystery. Yes. If it's not good, bye.
Also, like, you know when Dorinda's lipstick starts smearing a little bit, she's like, okay, all right, we're gonna have dinner now. I did it. Like, it's classic.
I'm
Dorinda.
Hungry.
Classic Dorinda. But we also, next week is the finale.
Yeah.
And there are, guys, I think it's gonna be a doozy of an episode because
doozy in a good way or a bad way?
Like in a
I don't know way.
Like in a bad way for Kary because I don't know.
Oh my God! In the preview, I think this is what you're referencing.
Yes.
Is when so there's one room in the house
where
that
got
shot,
died. It's like classic.
That is the whole show.
Yes.
That was the most shocking thing I think to happen to anyone in the 80s.
Yes.
Was JR getting shot.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, guys! If you were in the process of watching Dallas from 40 years ago.
And that room is like off limits. It's like
the bed is
plexiglass.
Yes.
Like it's all set up like a museum. Well, we see Kary climbing on the plexiglass and pulling it off.
Ripping. And Deandra's laying in the bed, and Kary she falls backwards and breaks half of the plexiglass. That is like, they probably signed something going into this house. Like, you cannot touch this room.
1,000%.
Has not been touched, other than like if it gets cleaned or something, since like this
they
was
set it up.
When they got shot. Like literally, bed's disheveled perfectly. There's something on the floor. Blah blah blah. I don't know what's gonna happen, but that is another level.
And every episode, Kary does something that's just so over the top and unnecessary.
She goes and gets COVID on the plane ride to the reunion.
There you go. I don't even want to talk about that again.
Yeah, and we will talk about that obviously when the reunion comes on.
But
yeah, that's Dallas this week, and I think the finale is going to be a hell of a one. Hell of a one. Who am I?
A hell of a one.
A hell of a one. But yeah, that's Dallas.
Yeah, should we get into Jersey?
Let's go to New Jersey. Chase, I'm upset at this week's Jersey.
Why?
I'm very upset. I can't give the people what they want this week.
Oh no, what happened?
There's no big Ham Linky moment of the week this week. He didn't appear on the episode at all. He didn't make one appearance. But what I think I'm gonna do
Okay, did we just cancel the recap?
I'm gonna do a tag team in moment, high five, because we do kick this episode off with Lil Ham Linky. And he is in there. He is bringing his dad's energy. He is his dad's clone, basically. But he's talking to Dolores about how she's finally decided to open up to him. Like, I do have to get a biopsy. And he is just like the best. And he's like, Mom, don't hide that stuff from us. That's not girl stuff. That's medical stuff. And I was like, boom, drop the mic. We're
here for you, Mom.
He is like raised right. So I had to say we don't have a big Ham Linky
little Ham Linky moment
of the week. But we got a little Ham Linky moment of the week, and he's really supportive and just the sweetest son, and we stand him. Because y'all know we stand him on this podcast.
Honestly, that makes me sad that we don't have a big Ham Linky. I look forward to that.
I look forward to it, and I just, I remember the episode ended, and I just turned my TV off, and I just sat in silence. Like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm just kidding, guys. That obviously did not happen.
I mean, I actually believe it did happen.
It didn't happen because, y'all know I watched it before bed, and I sleep with the TV on.
You went up and looked at your cameo from Big Ham Linky.
I did what needed to be done. Oh my god, maybe that could be our Big Ham Linky moment of the week. We can just edit in my cameo from him. He did call me sweetheart on it, not to brag. But we find out that Margaret is actually used the same ghostwriter as Teresa did for her book. And this ghostwriter owns a yacht.
Amazing. So, who doesn't want a friend with a yacht?
I'm like, iconic. I want to be a ghostwriter. Get a yacht?
Yeah.
I mean, that's... But she is going to throw a party for Margaret for her new book coming out. And they're going to do a little reading, like, of the...
little excerpts of, the thing.
Yes. Is it excerpt?
Excerpt.
Excerpt. I thought it was a C. It's an excerpt.
See, okay, we actually had this conversation, like, a couple weeks ago.
Did we?
We're going back to British people again.
Oh, yeah.
Where they really pronunciate... Is it T's that we were talking about?
Oh.
And I think that's a problem sometimes because
we don't say T's.
Don't pronunciate everything.
No.
So whenever we say excerpt,
we don't enunciate.
I think that's correct, but it's like I don't even think of that because I usually probably like excerpt.
I don't know if it's excerpt or excerpt. Yeah, that's right. Oh, I forgot about the T thing.
For example, we say titty. They say titty.
And same with water. We say water and they say water.
Yeah.
There's so many.
We honestly had a weird. That's why we
need back Ladies of London, and we need them to have this conversation between Brits and Americans, and we need to hear all of this.
We honestly had one of those moments where it was like, I never knew I talked this way.
Yeah, it was actually a really freaky moment. It was like a moment of realization.
It was weird, and we were not drunk. Okay, no. Don't even say that.
Were we not? We're probably a little tipsy. I was like, okay.
It was a Saturday at 6 p.m.
So we're drunk. Let's be honest here. But Teresa, after we talk about the yacht party, it's gonna be happening that day, and everyone's getting ready for it. And Teresa goes into Gia's room, and is kind of chatting about what she's gonna do for the day. And she's playing a voice message from, I guess she's texting with Joe Giudice, and he's playing a voice message where he's like, "Love you, Gia," and I love it. Like, love you, Gia.
She's like, why does he always respond with voice messages?
She's like, Mom, look, I'm literally texting him, and he's just sending me voice messages. But then Melania walks by in the hallway, and she's like, Mom, I'm ready for soccer, and she's on the phone with her dad. And I found this very funny, this little moment between Teresa and Joe. She comes in, and she's like, oh, Gia, Dad wanted to say hi to you. They're talking for a minute. And Teresa says, oh, I heard that Gia met your girlfriend. And he was like, she's not my girlfriend, she's my lawyer. I heard that she met your boyfriend. And I was like, it almost feels like Mom and Dad are doing something wrong, but they're not.
Was it weirdly flirty? Yes.
It always feels flirty between them.
It does.
Because, let's be honest, they never got, that closure. Like, she went to prison, he went to prison, and then it just kind of was, done. It wasn't a normal dissolving of a marriage,
No, I mean, the thing is, we know how bad he was to her
100%.
Previous, but I do think sometimes when you lose someone, you appreciate them more so after, and I think that's happening here, with him especially.
I think that he never appreciated her once.
Oh, no, but now,
yeah 100%.
And how he realized that she was a rock and,
right.
is a family woman and blah, blah, blah. So there's always some flirtatious stuff there, which I'm really into. Like an unrequited love. Is that what they say?
I don't think.
Is that a word?
I didn't say I don't think so. I just said I don't think.
See, guys, we told you we weren't all the way here today.
That is totally how we are today. But I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think if Joe hadn't got deported, would him and Teresa still be together?
Yes.
You do?
Yep.
You think even after, like, all the strength she got from her independence, you don't think that she would have... You think they're still together? Okay.
I think so, because at the end of the day, Teresa would have done whatever it took to, like, make her daughters happy, and I think her daughters ultimately would have liked them together. Yeah. I think now they don't mind it because they're seeing...
Adriana, because she's 10 years old, would be the one who's, like, more into seeing her parents together.
Also, I just don't think they've seen, like, Teresa independent, and they're realizing Teresa independent is actually even better.
Yeah.
But they hadn't seen that before. And I think if Teresa and Joe had the option to be together, her daughters would have wanted that, and Teresa would have done whatever her daughters wanted her to do.
I think that if he would have come back, they probably would have stayed together. If he stayed in this new, like, mental, like, and staying...
Yeah, because he seems very positive and, like, good now. If he had fallen
back into his, like, negativity and treating her like crap, I think that would have been an issue.
Yeah, no, 1,000%.
This time.
I'm not saying it would have been a good choice.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I just think she would have stayed with him.
I think that's
because
fair.
I think she's a person that wants to keep her family together.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even whenever, like, Melissa and Joe are having her thing, she's like, Melissa's like, Melissa, be nice to him. He needs to do this. And, like, well, in this case, Joe's actually wrong.
Yeah.
But Melissa... like, is trying to say, I want to stand up to Joe, and Teresa's like, no, don't do that. So,
she
that gives me...
She also defend her brother to the death against Melissa.
Very true, but I just think Teresa's a person that will just...
yeah.
kind of do what's best for her family, not best for her.
I think that's fair, and that's admirable.
Yeah.
Speaking of family, though, we head over to Jennifer's house, and she goes to talk to Gabriella, because she obviously witnessed that fight last week between her parents, Jennifer's parents. And she was kind of explaining to her, like, you know, it was an arranged marriage that she was in. She was 16, she was 26. She was the last daughter in the house. She had to cook and clean for everybody. She wanted out. Then she got out, and then my dad said, we're going to America. And she never wanted these things. And I found it very interesting. I just feel like Gabriella's so mature.
Yeah, she's 13, I think.
13 years old. And
so
it's like
mature.
She was talking to, like, a 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, she was so understanding. She's like, I get it. I would be resentful, too, probably. And I was like, oh, my God. If you had had this conversation with me at 13, I would have been like, oh, like, I mean,
like, what?
Yeah. That's all I would have said. What? I can't. But I did. I'm just saying, can you imagine conversation? Now I'm just thinking of Chase at 13 being like, "What?"
Can you imagine us at 13 being on reality TV?
No. Oh God, it would have been an absolute nightmare. Like,
nightmare.
Like, rest in peace, our souls. It would have been.
I would have been wearing, like, my, like, Abercrombie, like, collars with, like,
have you been
cargo
seeing
pants?
All the TikToks lately that have been very triggering and bringing back a lot of memories. Not triggering, just very nostalgic. Where it's like girls getting ready for 8th grade in like 2002, and like you're putting on one tank top and then 2 tank tops and then 3 tank tops and then an Abercrombie hoodie over it with like the 3-layered tank tops and like brushing your hair back and then just pulling the 2 pieces up and doing a big poof in the front. Oh, guys.
Oh, Cassidy's blonde hair.
Oh God, my real blonde, my fake blonde hair. Cute. We're not talking about that ever again.
I mean, I act like I didn't have frosted tips.
I was about to say, like, you started getting frosted tips when you were like 2, so who are you coming for?
Good parenting, Mom.
Like, Chase got out of the womb with frosted tips.
This is my natural hair color. Oh, God.
Your mom said there's frosted tips, this baby. Give him some seasoning.
You know what he needs? Frosted tips.
Yeah, he's okay, but you know what's going to take him to the next level? Frosted tips. I can't. But I did think back to
we have not even talked about Jersey at all.
Back to Jennifer and Gabriella. She very much said, like, you know, your grandma's life was chosen for her. It's not what she wanted. I wanted to break the cycle. That's why me and your dad don't fight. And like we're really positive, all good. And I was like, I got me really thinking about how much I love Bill and Jennifer's relationship together. They get on so well. They don't fight. I can't believe in the early seasons I thought their relationship was weird and they didn't get on. Because now I'm like the biggest stan of them. Like, together.
I'm into them.
Yeah.
What?
I'm into them. What? He's like, who?
Wait, who are they?
But they head to the yacht. And it's a very cute yacht.
It's a really cute yacht. It really reminiscent of the Cartagena yacht, but like didn't sink.
I was like, ooh, I don't know.
No, but like
if
didn't sink. No, it's a positive because it was like still cute.
Yeah, and all
she
the
just
ladies,
happened to almost sink.
The ladies all showed up like looking gorgeous.
They looked great.
They
oh
were
my God.
bringing the yacht looks. I love Teresa's blue and white pattern dress.
First mate Parker was hot as hell.
First mate Parker was 22 years old and hot as hell, and Teresa was about to start flirting until she found out his age.
Why does that stop you?
I mean, whenever it's like your daughter's age, I guess she gets weird. It wouldn't stop Sonia, I'll tell you that much.
Well, there you go. Put Sonia down.
would have been in the toilet with Parker having a good time. But Teresa actually opens up about her new man.
Yeah, she came right out and said it.
They bring up some mansion called like the...
Was it Graymere? Or...
Grandmere. I can't remember what it was called, but... Because Jackie was like, I turned 44 next week, we need to do something. And they were like, oh, what about this mansion? It's clearly probably already been planned. Glenmore Mansion, right?
Glenmere or Glenmore? I think it was that. Glenlevitt is the Scotch.
Oh, no. Actually, like, all of them are. There's
Glenlivet.
There's Glenlevitt. There's a lot of the Scottish Scotch is, which they have to be to be a Scotch, all start with Glen. So there's like Glenlevitt's, Glen Marriage, Glen all these different things. My dad
Glenn's marriage?
It's called, like, that's wrong. But it's Glen...
Glenn got marriage?
It's like Glen Orange. No, seriously, that's what my dad drinks Scotch, okay?
I'm blank. My eyes are glazed over.
Yeah, but they all start with that. Isn't that interesting? Like, a lot of them.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit.
No, I don't. I love the knowledge.
Yeah, do you, though? But anyways, Teresa's like, oh, I've been there. I went with like this guy. He took me on a date. You know, he picked me up
with a driver.
Brings me flowers every time he sees me. You know, I was walking down the street with my girlfriend in Jersey. That's Jersey Shore, and we saw this guy.
How you went? That's Jersey Shore.
Well, I feel like I needed to make it clear because she said. And we saw this guy leaving a shore house, and he kind of waved to us, and we talked to him. We got giddy. So she's definitely referencing the guy that she's dating now, currently, that we've seen.
That seems like a very interesting meeting. They were walking down the street. He walks out of his house, and he waves at her. And then she's like, I'm going to go talk to him. What the fuck? I cannot imagine ever walking up to someone at their house after they waved at me.
I'm scared of getting murdered. I would never do that.
I'm scared of waving at people because I have social anxiety.
Also same. Like,
if someone waved at me, I'd be like...
social anxiety, like both.
And weirdly, murder second. Like, I'm just more like scared because like someone's waving at me like, what do they want?
Especially if it was like a super hot guy, that'd be even like more nerve-wracking. I'd be like... waving at the girl behind me? Like, what is happening right now?
It's like, that tree is hot.
That tree, Teresa. I see what you did there, Chase.
Anyways.
But yes, she's basically spills all the deets about him. Why can't his name Louis? Lewis,
I think.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Louis. Why did I think it was Louis?
It might be Louis. I forget.
Once again, we can't enunciate.
But, did you love the amazing line that Marge said?
The one about her kitty licked or something?
Can I say the P word on this podcast?
It's not a bad word. You can absolutely say the P word.
Getting that pussy fed.
Oh my god, I thought the P word was penis. No, I'm just kidding.
That's all I think about is the P word.
That's what she said. I thought
that was wild.
But like Margaret likes to say these things and like then look at the camera like yeah, I said it. It's like okay, like yeah, it was
yeah.
It was
I mean,
fine.
I kind of did the same. I did it.
Yeah. What about
I said it. You want to fucking come at me?
After you asked him, because after getting permission,
I was like so polite. I was like, hey.
After getting permission, iconic. But Margaret, they are all talking. They go upstairs. They decide to do the book reading. And Margaret's like, it's about women in business. The first few chapters about Marge Sr. And then she talks about, the part where she slept with her boss and why, and goes into a bit more detail about that. She's like, I was lured back to his apartment. And I felt like I had no choice, really. I
mean, it was... So she had already told us this before. Yes. Like, she's opened up about this before. Yes. But this time, it was in a more intimate setting. And I think it was, like, maybe a little more detailed.
And she's put it down in words. So I think she's really, like, gathered her thoughts with it.
Yeah, but to me, it wasn't more detailed than she already said previously.
Right.
But Jen says, like, oh, you never said it in the way that you're saying it now.
And you know why I think?
So you agree with that?
I think it's especially the one line where Margaret said he wasn't an abuser, he was just an asshole. And that resonated with me, even though I already understood, like, situations.
Yes.
That specific line, I feel like, probably resonated with Jen more. Because Jen was like, I was seeing it as, like, you were just trying to sleep your way to the top. Which clearly wasn't what Marge ever said. But now she's like, I get it more by the way you've explained it. Like, I understand. Yeah. And
I just thought it was kind of like, this was clear to me from the jump that Marge was saying that.
Same.
But I appreciate that Jen was being like, okay, I'm seeing it differently now. I'm going to apologize. Marge wasn't going to immediately take it. Right. She fought her a little bit on it.
Right.
And was not really making the apology easy.
Right.
But they do end up making up.
That's why, like, I think it's very interesting to say, like we got it immediately. Because I think there's still so many people out there that probably didn't. Or, like, people, like, it's seeing from Jennifer's, the fact that she didn't get it is, like, proof to me that, oh, there are still people out there that didn't get what she was trying to say. You know what I mean?
Let's just say, Jennifer aside, like, I'm not saying Jennifer thought this, but it's like, do you think because we're in a younger generation that, like, in a movement of more, like, you know, feminist empowerment, woman empowerment, we're enlightened on the patriarchy and even just, like, power plays within the business world, blah, blah. It's forefront of our generation. I wonder if we just see it differently.
I think that's why our eyes are definitely more open to it. Like, and obviously women speaking out more, whereas they wouldn't have back then. Yeah. Because A, you didn't have as much of a platform. B, people would have just been like, shut up. Like,
and also even listening. Other, I think kind of like, I'm not blaming Jen for this, but it's like other women kind of like say like, oh, must have been your fault, or other men said that, or like society said, oh, it must have been your fault. And I think Marge even said that. She's like, oh, well, like, women are blamed because of what they wear, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we know that. I think she said
that when she was talking to her mom about it later.
Oh, yes, later. Okay.
Yeah. But no, I think that's definitely what it was. So I'm glad that she explained it in a way that she understood, because maybe that'll make other people who still didn't get it understand.
And Jen, like I said, they made up, so it's all good.
And Jennifer opens up about her parents, like what they're going through. And she said she's had a really hard time, but I do want to invite you guys all over for like a little Turkish tea lunch with like our moms. And, I thought it was very interesting because I didn't think about this, because she was like, you know, my mom's had all this shame that they're living apart and it's a whole thing. And I think someone says, oh, well, Jackie, your parents live apart. Maybe she could give some advice. Oh, wait, Dolores, your parents live apart too. So it was like, it's crazy that in this group of women, 3 of them have parents that are still married but live separate.
I don't like it.
It's interesting. I do think it's like, if it works for you when you get older and like it's like not worth divorcing at that point, fine. But yeah, I would hope that my relationship doesn't get to that.
See, that's what I just don't understand, and it's not for me to understand because I'm not knowledgeable on this subject. Mm-hmm. But from an outsider looking in with no experience to this, I just would always be like, I'm just gonna divorce or go find my happiness, and like I want to be with someone that's like I want to live with and stay with and sleep with. Yeah, you would hope to never get
to the point where you're just like,
I don't know what their reasoning is exactly. So it's like I don't want to speak too much on it, but I'm like, when it's like all of this and they're like and they're probably all in their 60s or 70s, like, well, it sucks to be at that point in life and not be living your best life. Yeah. And maybe they are living their best life. I don't know. It just, to me, I would have hoped that I would have moved on and met someone else that I want to spend the rest of my life with.
That's the thing. You always kind of want that companionship and like someone who's making you happy and that you're making happy.
Because we always forget, like, obviously we always want to end up with the person that we're like in love with from the beginning of our lives. But it's like, say producer Joe and I broke up in 2 years. Yeah. I could have 3 more relationships in my lifetime if I lived to a normal age that were 10 years long. Yeah. Like, it's wild to think that you just, like, give up. Or not give up, but, like...
Oh, my God. Did you tell me you die in your 50s or your 60s?
Wait. Okay, let me do math. Y'all know I can't do math. No, you 30, 40... Oh, it'd only be 60! Yeah, oh, my God. No.
I was sorry. Like, girl, you could have, like 7 more 10-year relationships.
7 more 10-year relationships. And that's what I mean. It's wild to think like that if you do math properly. That you can have that many relationships. I did. This is really sad. What am I doing with myself?
What are you doing to your own life right now? Literally. Whew. But yes, I think it's. But you know never what I mean? Want to be in a position where you're just like, whatever. It's like, this is what it's gonna be.
And that's what makes me sad for Jen's mom. It's like she had this whole life and she never was happy. Yeah. No. She was happy with her kids, blah blah blah. She never had a relationship.
I think she's just looking back on it now. She felt like she was never happy, but I'm sure there were points where she was happy. That I think is important to remember.
Okay, so I have a point. I don't know. I guess we should talk about a few things before we get to Jen's house.
Yeah, I mean, like, Jackie comes over to... Because, by the way, guys, I don't know if y'all realized, I really didn't, if it hadn't been said, that Melissa wasn't at the yacht party. Like, did you miss her?
Was she not there?
No, she said she was sick. Did you miss her?
No.
Yeah. Like, she really, like, it wasn't even a... thing that
Dude, that's bad. I didn't even think about it.
That was my thought.
Now that you're talking about it now, she was sick and she couldn't go, but like,
yes,
I didn't even realize she was
gone. It
wasn't
even like a thing. I know. I thought that was bad too. I was like, yikes, what does that mean for... We'll see.
Ooh, okay. Well, but it's a quick lunch. They essentially just say like, I'm letting Jackie know that me and Joe are having problems, stuff like that. We already know.
Well, and Jackie's like, did you know that Teresa has a boyfriend? Because she let it all spill. And
yes,
Melissa was like playing coy still. Like, she's like, I don't know what she told her, obviously. So she was being a very good sister-in-law with that. She was like, I'm not going to like say too much because I don't know what's been said already.
Because we found out that Melissa's already met him.
Yes. Melissa's like, I've already met him, already been around him. Like, I know it all, but I don't want to say anything. But then Melissa, the other point I do think is worth saying, she's like, I don't think Teresa's genuinely been happy for 10 years. It will be very interesting to see a happy Teresa. And
that was kind of what I was saying earlier, like when we were talking about like Joe and Melissa's relationship. Not Joe and Melissa. Joe and Teresa's relationship. Yeah. So many Joes. My God.
Like, they're all Joe.
Joe and Tree's relationship was like, it's sad because she says she hasn't really been happy for 10 years.
Yeah. And
it's nice to see Tree happy. And it's interesting because you said, like, oh, is she only out, like, single because, like, Joe's gone?
Yes.
Like, it's that whole thing made me even think about it more dynamic. Because, like, 10 years is before she went to jail.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, you're right. Very interesting. But Marge Sr. Is hanging out with Marge Jr., which is still so funny to me that it's Margaret and Margaret together.
I love it.
But she's just like, I didn't know that you were sexually harassed. Like, I knew a lot of things you dealt with. I didn't know that. Like, I think it's so good you're speaking up now. I know we didn't have a normal mother-daughter relationship, but they are happy.
I like Marge Sr. because I think Marge Sr.'s can really take what Marge Jr. is saying to her.
And really, like...
Yeah, like, it's not nice stuff. Like, she's like, I took care of you, and you're the mom. You never had food in the fridge. You never took care of me. And she was like, you're not wrong.
Yes. She's like, she doesn't get defensive. Like, no. I was a great mother. She's like, you know what? I was a kid too. I really did my best. She was a kid. She was an immigrant. She had just come over by herself. She's like, I didn't do.
And she even says, like, I did my best, but the best wasn't really that great.
Exactly.
I do love Margaret's goblet of coffee she always has. In that, like, huge coffee. Ass, like, red wine glass full of iced coffee.
There's something very chic about her giant iced coffee.
I love it so much.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not spending any time on this next part.
Ooh.
I'm not spending a single second of Melissa trying to turn her storyline into talking to Antonia about the birds and the bees. I'm just saying this as a PSA. Never freaking put your 14-year-old, 13-year-old daughter on blast about her sex life because it's going to create a toxic relationship for her with it.
This is what I wrote down.
Yes.
Melissa is going to have the sex talk on camera. LOL. I love the fact she's pimping out her kids for a TV storyline.
Exactly. Like, that is such a serious topic and a serious conversation to have. If you really want to have, like, a positive, like, a sex positive relationship with your daughter, like, a good relationship about it. And just the fact that she tries to put Antonia on blast for a storyline, like you just said, sums it up. She's clearly so uncomfortable. Don't do it.
My sex talk was going down the freeway because my mom always said she was going to have the sex talk because I couldn't jump out the car. So she decided to have the sex talk with me. I don't remember where we were going, but I remember we were on Beltway 8.
Not
like
the
Fairmont.
Okay, so Beltway, by the way, Beltway is a paid road. So she was paying for the chat.
She was paying for the chat. And we were going Beltway. We were passing Fairmont. You know where you're at, Fairmont Junior High?
Yeah.
We were going by there, and she was like, I'm going to have the sex talk because you can't jump out of the car. And she did it. You know what's funny? Wrong sex talk, bitch. I was fucking guys.
I thought you were going to say you still jumped out of the car. Joke's on her. We hit a little slow point and I jumped. I didn't know where you were headed with that. But that's even better. Plot twist. I'm with men. Doesn't matter.
I was like, this is funny.
Girl, you're like laughing the whole time smoking your cigarettes tonight. You're like,
and it's just so hilarious because I always think of like her because we've had, obviously, whenever I came out, we had conversations like she always like kind of had an inkling that I was gay. And I'm like, so you're having this straight ass sex talk when you're also in the back of your mind being like, he may like men.
She's like, just in case, just covered my bases. But like the moral of this story is...
But it wasn't on camera.
Not on camera. And to all of the other housewives who have younger daughters that are even thinking about having the chat on camera, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's such a pivotal time, especially in a young girl's life. Like, to be doing that and putting it on blast, not cool. Not cool at all. Not into it.
No, not into it.
But, like, it's nice that we get to the tea party, the Turkish tea party. It's nice to see, like, Jen's mom is cooking in the kitchen with her dad, like, sitting there. They're getting along. And, by the way, the food that Jennifer's mom is... Oof. This spread literally was, like, on a 20-person... Oh my
I don't
God.
think I've seen Jen's mom happier. She loves
She
cooking. They
loves
talked about
it.
it. Like, her element is cooking
Yes.
and hosting.
Yes.
And there was a point where she was sitting next to the husband and, like, laughing with him. I was like,
having
what is happening right now?
They were totally getting along. I just
Yeah.
think she needed to get out that anger, she was heard, know she was validated, and then that's why she can move on. Like, and try to fix it. But I died when Teresa got to the tea party. And Jen was like, oh, should I get out, like, wine or something? You know, I'm not a big drinker. And Teresa was like, you're not a big drinker, Jen? And it flashes back to, like, literally Tequila Day where she was on the floor. I mean, like, who is Jen trying to fool with that, sweetie? We know you like a cocktail.
Jen likes us to think that she only drinks, like, once every 6 months. It's like, girl.
And maybe she does.
Maybe she does, but, like, who cares?
But also, like, don't make it like you don't ever drink. Like,
yeah.
Even if you do that, it's like, well, no, girl, when you go,
but also,
go hard.
when you're hosting, like, always give people all the options.
Like,
no one may drink, but put out the wine.
Exactly. And you know that this group is going to drink.
Yeah, and I would want to drink, honestly.
Speaking of Jen, though, her queen, Olivia, her daughter, comes downstairs, full
Icon.
makeup, heels, Michael Kors heels, as she made sure to tell the ladies.
Lipstick for the gods.
And a dress. And I was like, I live for this kid.
Icon.
Like, Jersey kids give us more than the Jersey housewives sometimes. Historically. Like, if we just had a show about the Jersey dads and kids,
that's kind of what Jersey, like, why Jersey is amazing, because we have the house husbands.
Yes.
We have the house kids.
Yes.
We have the wives.
Real
There's
dynamics.
3 elements, because there's no other franchise that would really give a shit about the kids or the husbands, to be honest.
Exactly.
They try to make Beverly Hills have, like, a husband thing, but also it's so produced.
I feel like I can get behind a little bit of, like, a PK and Mauricio moment if they're just, like, smoking weed and, like, laughing together. I could probably get behind that.
I get behind it, but I think, like, Kyle now knows, like, people like that, so she, like,
puts
it out there more.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Then all the moms and daughters are coming over, and Jackie is walking up, and she just can't help herself but be shady and try to be funny. When she was like, oh, Mom, welcome to the Taj Mahal, and the Taj Mahal had no furniture and a huge mortgage. Sweetie, her husband's loaded. They're loaded.
But also,
they're fine.
like, why say it?
Why?
I didn't get that. Like, I was like,
why not just...
We get you're rich, Jackie, but also so is Jen, so why do we care?
Jen is, like, just as rich. Probably, I mean, maybe richer. Who knows?
Who knows? But also, that's the thing. Who knows, and also, who cares?
It's not your freaking business, and it's rude to walk up and say a huge mortgage, and
it's like, no wonder no one likes Jackie.
Yeah. And the thing is, she thinks she's, like, a Bethany, where she's, like, funny, and people are gonna laugh to the side, where it's like, people got sick of that eventually. Like, people are sick of it with you already, Jackie.
Are we sick of Bethany?
I mean, yeah, we're...
That's what I
was like, did he black out from the conversation an hour ago?
I'm just saying, like,
when he
that's
said
a
he
given.
Literally wouldn't even watch the trailer, but no, 100%, I got you. And they start talking about, you know, the sex chat she had. Of course, Melissa brings it back up. They're all talking about with the moms, and as they sat there, Teresa starts getting visibly, like, very emotional, almost like as someone who suffers from panic attacks.
They say it's like a visceral reaction where it's like you just, like, can't even, like...
And it almost made me feel like a panic attack, because the way she started getting very...
that's what it was.
Shaky and, like, trying to, like, stand up. She's like, I just gotta get out of here. I just gotta go, like, see my mom at, you know... She's like, I want to go to the graveyard. I want to go see my mom. I miss her so much. It just... Definitely a very somber ending to the episode.
Yeah. My mom would have been pissed if I missed a party.
Yeah, my mom would... No, my mom would be like, you should come to my gravesite. I'm like, who am I kidding? My mom would be like, you come here. You bring me a glass of Sauvignon Blanc and we're going to party here. So, I can't say that. Love you, Mom. But yeah, no, I can't agree with that. But yeah, it was really sad to see that, like,
it was
every time, because obviously, and it kept showing flashbacks to her mom, and...
Okay, so this is one thing that I find weird about, like, grief and people around you whenever someone's, like, grieving, because everyone wanted to, like, hug her and be like, I loved your mom, too, and I'm like, no one wants to hear that in that moment.
It's also, like...
I don't know if this is just how I grieve, but it's like, whenever I'm sad, I don't want anyone to, like, touch me or, like, necessarily console me. I like people to, like, be like, I'm here for you, let me know if you want to talk.
Yes,
very much the same. If someone's like, I also loved her, I'm like, great, is this a love competition? I just don't like when people, like, think that by saying I love someone, like, just as much as you do makes you feel better. I'm like, no, I'm not here to cry about how much you love someone.
I think it's also one of those things that, like, when it starts happening, like, you don't know how to react. So, like, it's not like I would never get annoyed if someone did it to me because they're not coming from a bad place. They're genuinely just trying to make you feel better.
Annoyed may have been a strong word.
But I agree that, that's not how I like to be treated either.
Yeah.
I'm very much like you with that. But, yeah, I just think you don't know how to react because you want to be there for your friend. You don't want to look like you don't care. You don't look like you're not doing anything. So it's like, what's the right answer? There's really no right answer.
Yeah, because the reason I said that is because, Melissa's mom was, hugging her. I'm like, I loved your mom, too. And Teresa, I think this is the thing. Teresa and people in that same position almost feel like you have to start consoling the other person. Yeah. Because Teresa even said, I know you loved her. I know you loved her, too. And it's like, it's not about you. Yeah. It's about me right now.
No, you're right.
And I feel like Dolores stood back and stayed back, walked her to the door and said, love you, Tree. Call me. Yeah. And I was like, that's what I need.
And that's why they're truly best friends. Exactly. Because she knows it's probably the reaction she wanted. Yeah. And that's how. But it ended on to be continued where Teresa was emotional and left. So
Dallas ended on to be continued too. We had 2 to be continued.
Did it?
It did because the whole finale is at Southfork Ranch. Remember?
True. We got 2 DBC. Do be continued. Happy 420, guys. I'm just kidding. I totally did not soak. But yeah, that's our shows this week though. That's our episode. I hope you guys had fun. I feel like we had a bit of a chaotic time. It's a bit of a chaotic energy in here, and that's what we do. We live for chaos.
I was like, isn't that what the fun of the world is chaotic energy?
That's what you guys come for.
Exactly.
I hope so, at least.
Do I need to do my spill?
It's time for Chase to do his spill. And Lynn Curtains down. Go Chase.
5 stars, guys. If you're listening, make sure you go rate us 5 stars. Leave us a review. I hope people listen. We gave a nice shout out last episode about a 5-star review we got. It was amazing. Loved it so much. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Tell people. Share a podcast. We love it. We love you. That's our episode.
Yes. Thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Cheers.